12:30 a.m.
Whoa, now. What's happening, good people? What's going on with you? And how you doing? Hoping everybody's doing all right. Hoping that you're having a good day. Hoping that you are safe and in some air conditioning. That's my deal right there. I got to be in the air conditioning these days. It's too hot out here, but it's not as hot today as it has been. But it's still too hot out here to be hanging out and doing a whole bunch of stuff in the heat. I'll put it that way. So make sure you are cool, because we're going to light it up and heat it up while we're here having some conversation with you on today. My number, 504-582-9422. That's 504-582-9422. Got to talk to you about some of these things happening in New Orleans. I still want to complete my conversation on yesterday that we were talking about before we had to go, with a lot of folks trying to figure out, what's really happening in D.C. We know that there is a federal takeover of the police department, but is it necessary? And could that happen here? Could that happen in your part of town? And I would say pretty much, because we are seeing the deployment of federal troops in different parts of the world. One now in Washington, D.C., saying they want to clean up the crime. I was like, ain't that interesting? So we also have some stuff that's happening here in New Orleans. Let's talk about this. Gilbert Montano, who was the chief administrative officer, and if you heard me say that in past tense, you are correct. Gilbert Montano resigned from his role as New Orleans chief administrative officer in late July. He is now going to become the chief of staff at the Audubon Nature Institute in September. Montano will oversee the operations of Audubon, a collection of parks, museums, and environmental attractions throughout New Orleans, including the Audubon Zoo. An Audubon spokesperson says, Melissa Lee, that his start date is going to be September 2nd. Montano announced his resignation from City Hall on July the 30th, ending his 7-year tenure as the city's most senior official beneath Mayor LaToya Cantrell, during which he shepherded the city's budget through a pandemic, federal aid injections, and soaring inflation. Montano, who increasingly broke with Cantrell and other administrative officials over city decisions, announced his resignation 5 months ago, since this is her final term. He brings so much experience, not only administratively, but in fiscal matters, said Lee, who added that Montano was a really good fit because he is committed to the city and Audubon and such an important part of New Orleans. He declined comment on Monday. As one of the Institute's top officials, Montano will be responsible for overseeing a collection of attractions across the metro area, including the zoo, Waldenberg Park, the Audubon Aquarium and Insectarium, and the Audubon Louisiana Nature Center, among others. So they got him. He's getting ready to go work with the Audubon people. So what you think? Everybody's like, what? Yeah, what you think? What you think? Seriously, 504-582-9422. What you think? Love to hear your opinion about the new ad to the Audubon folks, because I think it's interesting. Anybody else from that administration be able to get one of those jobs? Anybody else from that administration? I'd love to hear what you think. Come on now. 504-582-9422. Let's hear it. Cause I got one of those, y'all know I'm the president of the conspiracy theory. That's the organization. Mm-hmm. I'm the president. Something. I can talk now? I can say hello to everybody?
See, you shouldn't have said that you're a conspiracy
I'm
theorist.
sorry, Eric.
Captain, see, nah, I don't hear you again. I can't hear you. No.
Have mercy. There we go. Back on again. So can I go back to my original? My original is I'm looking at how city government really rolls. I'm looking at how folks end up with these, and I'm gonna call it something, a golden parachute. What happened? You have this look on your face like you really want to say something. What has happened?
I'm not saying anything.
How did they end up with these same organizations that are paying these big dollars and these city government leaders? I'm a conspiracy theorist.
I'm keeping my mouth shut.
I'm a conspiracy theorist. So I'm looking around and saying to myself, self, does this look like the same situation? All right. Big man.
Yeah, Gerod. How
What's
you
going
doing
on
today?
with you? How you doing?
I'm all right. Nah, this Montano guy.
Huh?
I said this Montano guy that
Uh-huh.
you're talking about. He's the same guy that kept Henry Consultants from getting that contract.
Wait a minute. Say that again, because you're a little muffled.
I said he's the same guy who kept Henry Consultants from getting the contract. He kept telling everyone that Henry wasn't ready to go.
No, that was city council pretty much. Not
No, no,
him.
no, no. He did too.
He did? I'm not certain of
Yes,
that
he
one.
did. I heard it on the news that he was the one
Mm.
who kept telling everyone that Henry Consulting wasn't ready.
Mm.
And it went by what he said.
So he was one of them.
Yeah.
All right. That might be something, but I'm looking around and saying, okay, how did he get the golden parachute?
Well, a lot of ways to lie your way into things.
I ain't gonna say nothing on that one. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Yes, indeed.
All right.
I'm gonna leave that one alone. You got me on that one. You made me be quiet here. Mm-hmm.
That's all I wanted to say.
I got you. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate the call.
All right.
All right, take care.
Man.
All right, everybody, hold on. We gotta take a break. We'll take a break. Big man says a way to lie your way into everything. Just damn. All right, we'll take a break here. We'll take the break. We'll come back. We'll have some more conversations. So, James, hold on. Hold on. Y'all know I'm a conspiracy theorist. Y'all know I'm a conspiracy theorist. And I have my assignments as the president. Mm-hmm. More coming up. Everybody hold tight. James, you up next.
Hey, this is Steve Poston. Be sure to listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and Sunday evening at 5 p.m., bringing you the best Southern Soul barroom music with the Southern Soul Weekend Party Mix, hosted by me, of course. I'll be playing your favorite Southern Soul music by artists from all over the South, right here on WBOK 1230 AM or online at WBOK1230.com. The station you listen to longer. Listen to longer. Listen to longer.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
2517 Bayou Road is the place to be. Nano's Cajun Cuisine and Pastries. If you're thinking brunch, lunch, breakfast, or dinner, if y'all looking for a great spot with authentic New Orleans cuisine, Nano's Cajun Cuisine and Pastries is the place you want to be. We closed on Mondays. Tuesday, we open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and we reopen for dinner for 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Wednesday through Friday, we open at 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and we reopen for dinner from 5 p.m. to 12 a.m. Saturdays, we're open from 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. Y'all come check us out at 2517 Bayou Road.
Hey, New Orleans, look for important changes to your natural gas service. This summer, Delta Utilities takes over for Entergy Gas with a Louisiana-born, Louisiana-based approach to safe, clean, reliable natural gas. No interruptions or rate changes due to the transition, just dependable service and modernized technology to keep you running smoothly. Get to know us at deltautilities.com and stay tuned for more later this summer. Delta Utilities, focused on natural gas, committed to New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Gary Clark. Please tune in to Dr. Clark 101, The Living Classroom, which is broadcasted weekly every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. on WBOK 1230 AM on your dial. And as always, it's been a pleasure.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
This year marks 20 years since Hurricane Katrina changed our city and our schools forever. New Schools for New Orleans is sharing After the Storm, a special series reflecting on the past 2 decades of change and progress in public education. Through videos, personal stories, and a powerful interactive timeline and data dashboard, we explore how our schools recovered, transformed, grew, and what that progress means for our students today. Discover the videos, data, resources, and stories behind the 20 years of change at newschoolsforneworleans.org/Katrina20.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. 504-582-9422 is my number. James, what you say, boss? How you doing?
All right. How y'all making out?
Good, brother.
Hey, the last caller, he said that Montoya was responsible. The council followed Montoya. That's not actually how that worked. But Montoya actually did.
He made a comment. He just made a comment.
Yeah, he made. What? Say that again.
He made a comment. That's what he did.
Yeah, he just passed his opinion. He said, "I doubt they're gonna be ready." I don't take that as a like. A wimp named Slickback don't need no help being aggressive red bottom shoe wear. So I think that's a whole bunch of stuff that they cooked up, caked up. They're in the pockets of the first quarter. Whatever them little community ordeals is down there. Mm-hmm. And the businesses. So I think that's where their loyalties lie. I was calling yesterday before, and Lord knows y'all do me wrong when y'all put me behind the great Mr. Harold, Aaron, and
you called in late, man. What you think?
Yeah, man.
You know Mr. Harold ain't gonna talk no 30 seconds.
Yep, I just got off the phone, bro. I knew it was over. But real fast, I wanted to say, y'all were talking about Trump before Mr. Harold came on, saying that he was gonna do the blue states with martial law. I don't put that past him, but I don't think that's the plan. I think that there's enough stuff that's surrounding him now to where he's in fight or flight, and I think that he this move my uncle used to say when novice plays chess. They do what's called castle up. They start sliding their pieces to protect the king, Yeah. So he's trying to address himself. So like
I'm gonna get back to that conversation a little bit later on, but I gotta get to this. I'm trying to get everybody in on this Montano placement.
I just wanted to throw that in there, and I'm gonna be listening to get that in. But one last thing about the Wolf. And him controlling the Audubon, being a part of the Audubon Institute. Wasn't Mr. Carl Gauman in talks with the city or the state with getting that wall for reparations for blacks, or they had it or something like that?
That was way back in the day.
Yeah, all right. I know I wasn't tripping. I'm like, man, how they gonna pull a move like that? So they stalled him out all this time. And now that's the plan. You're gonna run the park from Canal Street to the Night Wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go, bro.
So I guess the question again, but let me throw the question at you again, so that I make sure that I understand. How do you get that job?
Oh man, you know how you got that job, bro.
How you got that job, bro? No, I want to hear you tell me.
And say, bro, that's how we do it in the city, bro.
Really?
That's how we do it. It's evident. It's obvious. Even one sucker jump in a race and out the race, and then pick it back on somebody else. We just go one hand wash the other one. Mm-hmm. That's how it works. So anyway,
I'm getting ready to school some folks real quick here. So make sure you check it out. All right.
I'm in.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you much, James. Yep. Did we? I think we did go out. We came right back. All right, let me make sure I say this. We came right back on. What?
Stop playing with the cord.
That wasn't me.
It wasn't me. Uh-huh.
Harold, smack him in the back of the head. Just go, pow! Just right in the back of the head. That's all.
My cousin wouldn't hit me.
Knock his ponytail off. That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, now, here we go. Somebody said, how in the world did he get that job? Well, it's plenty of ways. Somebody said on the air, because he white. Have y'all taken a listen or taken a look at him recently? Or do you listen to people's last names to try to get some type of direction of race? Because the first thing that I did was look up AI. It said last name Montano, primarily Spanish or Italian. Okay? It's a topographic name derived from the word Montano, which means from the mountains or mountainous. The name likely or originated from Spain or Italy, which would give me either Italian or Spanish origin. So, and he got a little hue to his color. So what does that tell me? I don't think that he will be acting or trying to convince folks that he is Caucasian. Does that make sense? All right. So if my name is Montano, does that have anything to do with who I am, how I was born, and how I got this job? The answer? Nope. None. And whatever that smirk is on your face, hold it in for a moment here. Hold it for a minute. Let me tell you why. Because I want to bring everybody back. I'm bringing you back. Because y'all know I am the president of the conspiracy theory. All right? Most of us can remember back in the day when you'd see these folks that were in office, the folks that worked as the CAOs, CFOs, ABCDEFGs, they usually had a problem trying to find a good job after the term was up. Would you like me to go through the ones that was having some problems? That would include some folks that worked in the Morrell administration. I'd even go back Sidney Bartholomew. Some that had some problems with the Ray Nagin administration. They couldn't find jobs afterwards. And here we go with Mayor Cantrell. Them folks that hold those institutions, the Audubons, the Loyolas, and all of that, have they really said, come on, we want you to come work with us? Who was that person that got that invitation to go work with one of the, I would say, foundational communities that holds millions of dollars in foundation money, nonprofit money, and can give you a great job? Audubon. Well, why would they give Gilbert Montano that job? It ain't because he white, which some of you, and I'm not saying that in my defense, I'm saying that because that's what's coming out, and some of the people that are making, I guess, the assessment of making the guess, the hypothetical guess online. No, I don't think so. Well, why you think so, Gerard? You're taking a long time to tell it. Okay. I think so because they trying to get that info on TD. And they know that Gilbert Montano was one of those that was allegedly called out in one of the so-called assessments of who was accepting gifts and all of that. Remember, there were tickets that were supposed to come out to this LSU game, and he was supposed to be the one that would receive the pair. And I think those tickets were somewhere between $3,000 and $6,000 a piece. And he was all up in the paper going, "Oh no, oh what? No, not me. It wasn't me. I've been working all my life. I've been working all my life to keep a good name. To keep a good name. So what do? I go meet with them people. Y'all got me in here wrong. Really wrong. That wasn't me. That was her. Well, really? Are you giving us some information that we don't have? Yes'm. I'm telling everybody. Yes'm. Yes'm. Like who's'm? Yes'm. Mm-hmm. I'm telling everybody. That wasn't me that accepted those tickets. That was her. Them tickets was $3,000 and some dollars a piece. I just wanted to go. Didn't y'all get the man that was the plumber or the inspector and said that he was doing something illegal? I can tell you, that was her. Her over there. Her. That wasn't me. All right, Mr. Montano, let us go ahead on and keep you as a witness to be able to come back later on to give us this. But we're going to get you out of there. And we're going to put you in a good working job position to keep you happy until this comes to fruition. Yes'm? See, the both of y'all understand what yes'm is because y'all turn at the same time. That's it. But I'm telling y'all, this is the golden parachute. We need to keep the people that we know that we can call to court and the federal court. We need to keep them happy and let them know we loved it, did you. We loved it, did it. Mm-hmm. And we want you to know, okay, Spanky, but you going to be able to come to court and testify when we need you. But we're going to get you a good job. And all them people is saying, okay, two. Spell two. Or give me two. 1, 2. That's 3. But that's 1. And here go 2. That's 1, 2, which is tree. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling y'all, watch. Watch what I say. Now, that's just because I'm the head of the conspiracy theory. Does that mean that that's going to be the way that it goes? Probably not. But in this, read this article if you get a minute. One of the things that they said in this article that gave me another, I guess another issue to look at is the fact that whoever wrote this article says in the past several months, the CAO of the county of the city, the county of New Orleans, which is Gilbert Montano, has been responsible for overseeing all these different things in the city and has not been going with his boss. But he works in her administration, not the opposite. So whatever she wanted to go and do in the last several months, he's been saying, nope. Nope. Why so? So as I looked at this article, the spokesperson for Audubon Institute did the article, not Mr. Montano. You are the number 2 official in this administration, and you can't tell everybody why you're going? I know your time as far as the CAO is just about over, And a lot of folks start bailing out, somewhere between 6 to 9 months at the last term. But, bruh, you made the comeback of a year. Makes me ask the question, how did that go? How did that fall in place? Now, I'm not saying that you ain't qualified. But from this administration, come on. They usually don't fall into those types of positions from an administrator, a governmental administrative, right into a nonprofit that's got millions. And I don't know if y'all know, the city of New Orleans pays in millage Audubon. What? Well, here's another one. Y'all ready? Here's another one. I know people don't know this, but I want you to know. So, you all have been asking for years now how to fix my road. How are we going to fix this? How are we going to fix this? How are we going to fix recreation? How are we going to get this? Guess what? You're going to have your opportunity because your politicians have gone up to Baton Rouge and said, we need city bonds. And it's going to be $500 million worth of them. So this fall, we're going to be considering issuing over $500 million in city bonds that will fund a wide range of affordable housing, infrastructure, and drainage projects. Okay, I'm just go ahead on and open up the telephone lines right here. 504-582-9422. This fall, y'all are going to get to vote on over $500 million coming up in here with city bonds.
We won't see any of it.
Huh?
We won't see any of it.
That's the question. Do you believe it? It's going to be about affordable housing. I'm trying to figure out the way that housing has been going for the last 10 years. What do we call affordable housing in New Orleans? What do you call? That's the question. What do you call affordable housing? Because I'm going to lay it out. Because if I lay it out, y'all going to be mad at me. So I want everybody else to talk.
They'll be mad exactly what I have to say.
So
they'll
go
be
ahead.
mad.
Go ahead. What you call
affordable housing? What is that?
Housing.
When I hear that, what does that mean?
Yep.
Section 8.
That's not even affordable anymore because they get ready to make people go out there and do some work if you want to.
They need to.
Yeah. Well, not everybody. I mean, somebody's grandmama.
Yeah, people like that. But people that are able and they're getting over on the system, yeah.
All right.
Put their butts to work.
What else? Come on with it. What is and how does affordable housing look to you?
Well, there are a lot of houses that are on affordable housing that look really good. Like Lincoln Estates.
So you're talking about not just you talking about affordable housing as in Section 8 and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about affordable housing, meaning the average person that wants to buy a house. What does affordable housing look like? And what tax bracket? $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, and how they get that money? Because there's so different programs for different folks.
A house is going to cost you.
Huh?
A house is going to, in the city, if you're trying to get a house in the city, good luck, because those houses, those shotgun houses are like $1 million now.
So I'm asking you, what is that number? What is affordable housing for the number for the
I would
number
say
in
it's
New Orleans?
199,000.
Up to about $200,000.
About 200, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Because that's more obtainable for some people.
You think so?
For some.
A greater portion?
Two income household.
I mean, you're standing on the fence. Would you get off the fence? I'm talking about, come on, break it down. Where? Why? 200,000. Come on, Harold. Y'all collaborate together.
Well, I would wonder.
Give him the microphone because can't hear him. Can't hear you.
What's the median that people make in New Orleans? That's the.
What's the median?
Yeah. What's the median?
Okay, you're right. You're absolutely asking the question.
Yeah.
And determining that factor is exactly right.
Right.
So the median of the folks that live in New Orleans, you got to remember the income is what determines what you can afford.
Like he said, the average.
So if you're talking about an income for a family of 4 in New Orleans, that's $38,000.
Right. And if you, like you said,
I ain't say for one person in the house. I'm
That's
talking about 4 people
Yeah.
in a house. That's $38,000. That's Section 8.
Right.
You are correct.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, how do you make homes in New Orleans affordable?
Well, how you make them affordable is.
I can't hear you.
How you make houses affordable in New Orleans is, number one, the vacant houses that's been sitting for the past 20 years.
So there's never been, and you again, think, hold on, bro.
Yeah.
There you go. You got the bell. We have never really, we heard that we were going to put all these different houses back in commerce that we destroyed during Hurricane Katrina.
Hasn't happened.
And what has happened is we've seen folks outside of New Orleans come in and take up sloughs of those homes and make them into apartments. You saw that happen in Lower Ninth Ward over there by what's the school that was over there? You know what I'm talking about, right across the, right at the CTC, across the canal.
Lawless?
What was that school that was over there? Everybody at the boys' school over right across the canal. Holy Cross. So you saw Holy Cross, the school, get turned into apartments.
Right.
But can we afford it?
No. But it's like Rick said. And then there are houses that they did fix up, but like Rick said, those are the $1 million houses.
Right.
The 9th Ward houses and 7th Ward around the French Quarter area.
So there's no cap.
No, no cap.
And that's where I think the folks that's supposed to be leading the way when we started talking about affordable housing didn't, number one, or they did, well, I'm assume that they didn't. But I can't say that they didn't. You understand what I'm saying, Harold? Because what I really am saying is, if they would have really just checked and wanted us to have those houses wouldn't be 400,000 plus. They wanted to have a whole new New Orleans.
Gentrification.
There you go. We got to take a break. We'll take the break here. We'll come back. More coming up, y'all.
New Orleans, are you ready? A fresh voice in the city is here, bringing you the beats, the culture, and the stories that matter. From local music and food to real talk on what's happening in the streets, we've got you covered. Stay tapped in. Follow us on all platforms at WBOK 1230 for the latest updates and exclusive content. Your city, your culture, your news. Don't just hear about it, be about it. Follow us at WBOK 1230 now.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month by the community scientists at Rise St. James. This month, we spotlight phthalates, chemicals added to plastics, especially PVC, to make them more flexible and durable. But there's more. Research shows phthalates may disrupt hormones, affect reproductive health, and contribute to environmental pollution impacting our communities. Join us as we explore how these additives shape our everyday lives and the world around us. For more details, visit risestjames.org. Empower your knowledge with Rise. Rise.
New Orleans, get ready to laugh. Join Inspire NOLA, K20, NSNO, and the Nord Commission, a free event for NOLA teachers, parents, and the community. Friday, August 15th at the Orpheum Theater, featuring comedians Frank White, Shady Feelgood, Rob Kazi, and Bruce, with performances by DJ Jubilee, the Big Six Brass Band, PNC, and Subtweet Sean, hosted by Tanya Boyd Cannon and Wild Wayne. Get your tickets and info at inspirenolaschools.org.
Marking 20 years since Hurricane Katrina.
Tell me, what would happen if today was the last time you heard that drum beat or that trumpet blow? For those who struggle to get out and those who still struggle to get back, you are welcome to this place called home. If you remember, come home.
Share your story. Support the work. August 24th through 31st. A series of cultural, educational, and healing events. Visit katrina20.org to learn more.
WBOK.
Better pay attention.
Powered by Cox Business. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Ronald.
Sir, thank you for taking my call. You were speaking of a very part that's dear to me, affordable housing. Central City started the first housing program, and I was honored enough to sit on a committee. But what I witnessed is, in our community, way before Katrina, you were paying maybe about $400 a month to be a homeowner in a single house. With the average income for New Orleans in the hospitality industry, some in the neighborhood at $12 an hour. So if my air conditioner break, which is about $2,500, and my car break, which one you think I got to fix? So I had an issue with home ownership, the mindset. I came in the neighborhood. When I bought my first house, I bought a double. Because the guy told me in seminary, he said, if you smoke cigarettes, sons, it's 2 cigarettes you smoke, your brand and other people's brand. The city of New Orleans, when the white people was living in our communities, they had the store upstairs, they had a rental side, and the side they live in. And that was my claim to fame. I lived on one side and rented out the other side. And I thought that was a practical way to become a home ownership. There's a lot of tax breaks. And then if you want the big house on the hill, you can do that because you would have some supplemental income. If something breaks, you can get it done. And I just think the home buyers program, to me, today, and I still stand against single home ownership because it's more expensive now with insurance and taxes and building material. So we're talking about putting folks in homes that's averaging $12 to $18 an hour in the hospitality industry. Let's be real about this. So why are we not putting together doubles? And we tried that in Central City as well on 4th and Liberty, upstairs and downstairs, but it didn't pass the muster because you had maybe a 1,500 living area, and upstairs you had 900. Who's going to pay $700 prior to Katrina for 2 bedrooms? So I'm going to close by saying this. We passed Amendment number 2 to the charter that says 2% of the city budget will be put out for home ownership, repair, and development. I know Ms. Andrika Morris, she's on that board, and I'm trying to find out. I'm going to call our council person and find out who's on that board because we need to talk about, I don't want the developers to become first. In another major city in the country, 2 of them, they did the same thing. The developer was first, then the repair, then the home ownership, and then the repair. But we lose 50% of our houses in New Orleans from what? Court enforcement and not repair.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're losing. So my advocacy for getting Amendment number 2 passed was, let's repair the homes because our people are losing their homes because what? Code enforcement. And in Central City, as you know, you see who walked the dogs in the neighborhood, 7th Ward, 6th Ward, 9th Ward. You see who walked the dogs. They got those houses from Civic Source and from court enforcement because we couldn't repair the houses because you didn't get the money to repair it.
So
that was
Ronald,
part of the thing.
Can I throw something in there? I want you to comment on this, too, because I heard this many times, but I'm not the professional to speak on it. And I heard a lot of folks that were talking about trying to buy different homes or trying to repair theirs. And one of the things they would do was go to these sales, these property sales at City Hall, and they had to go through NORA. And I heard more comments about NORA during that time of trying to buy a property than any other agency because the folks of the city were not happy with the way that the process was.
Right. And I can tell you what I witnessed. It's on Thursday at Civil Court is one, but then there's Civic Source, a process that the city set up with our great mayor, Mitch Landrieu. Civic Source, if you go right now, look up NORA, you go to Civic Source, there's a list of properties
All right, and I don't know how that gets dispersed. I haven't talked to nobody that got a house from Nora or Civic Source regular. And all the folks that do it, they don't tell you how to do it, and they get it. But I guarantee you, we have the 51% developers. I even could tell you a lady would come on this show and tell you what happened to her by a city official in court enforcement. All right, took the property on this certain street in the night. Well, took the whole block by putting a tie on it today. Another one went to Civic Stores to try to purchase it. You don't find anything. So I hope somebody listening explain to us about Civic Source. People from around the country go online and pick up property. All right, and they see you got a lien against it for trash or repair, and next thing you know, they got it.
I
if they
didn't
tear your house
understand
down,
how other folks could come in and during the time that we were
Yeah.
in our most vulnerable state, that a lot of folks were coming in from out of town that were paying the taxes on
Right.
your home, and then they would charge you to get it back. And if you
1%.
didn't pay that number back within
Mhm.
3 years, you would lose your property.
Right, right. And one of the things I give credit to Errol Williams and Pastor from over the river. He's what's the guy name? He died. I can't think his name. Bosworth. He went to Baton Rouge and he had us to put a little more teeth in redemption. That it was very lax in redeeming your homes. But Pastor Bosworth, Errol Williams, and Charles Southall, they put together a piece and they talked to. I think Karen Carter was one of the legislators. I know Derek Shepard was. They gave you an opportunity right after Katrina to have a better chance for redemption of your property because it was gone. They overlooked that whole piece, like you said, that 3-year window to redeem it back, and the taxes. Well, they put a limitation on the tax. It wasn't open. It only was 1% per month on that tax that they paid for. But then they got by that. They started doing court enforcement, and it's called service. If I'm in Houston, Texas, because I evacuated, how could you give me a notice to appear for a hearing at my house, and they've got just a stick up next to my house washed away? That's what happened in the 9th ward. That's what happened in 6th ward, the 7th ward, in Central City. I witnessed this. I was here. So you tell me, and just go look at it. A lot of folks tell you right now, if my house is damaged and I couldn't come back to the city, and in 60 days in October 2005, you know what was being passed out? Court enforcement notices. I got a friend of mine, he had the house on right across the canal. He had 5 houses. He had notices to show up to court. November of 2005, he couldn't come back in the city. And, of course, what happened? They took it from him, and the next thing you know, they came to developers.
A lot
That's
of
what
those
was going on.
A lot of those notices, a lot of them were damage to the homes, of course, but the other part
Correct.
of it was some of the most, I think, stupidest code enforcement notices that had come out. People that couldn't cut their grass. I go up to
Right.
the houses and knock on the door, and the lady 90 years old. I'm not expecting her to go get on a riding lawnmower and start cutting. So that was one of the issues. She was like, "Yeah, I'm about to lose my house because I couldn't get my grass cut." Man, we got those bush hogs, and that's why we started cutting the grass.
I
out
remember
there in the-
you and Reverend Cotton on the bush hog in the lower ninth ward. We had the zoo come out. We had the Jungle of Africa come out down there.
So,
But Gerard, we are working on something. We have the Shriners from Scottish Rite and Prince Hall. We're negotiating now with led by Pastor Joe Connolly and the Ladies of Distinction. Come for September, October, we're going to announce 1 week in a month. We're going to go out and fix the 90-year-old porch or the door or the chair or cut the grass because we know code enforcement make their round. And if you look at it, we have a lot of widowers' houses in this city. And a lot of them losing. We do it right now. I don't beat my drum on doing it, but we get out there, a couple of guys to go fix a screen door, paint, fix a railing. And I'll tell anybody, I'm not going to stand up and say what we do because if I did it, well, I need to brag about it. So we're going to put together a system by mid-September. We're going to announce it on this station. And matter of fact, I'm still waiting on your media guy, the advertising guy, to call me. I called his number yesterday. I left a message. We want to advertise on this station. So I'm going to say it again. 9420 is the last number. I left my name and phone number. I'm waiting to hear from him.
I
talked to Jeff.
He's sitting in here.
talked to Jeff.
He's sitting in here now.
Well,
so
he tell him listen at the recorder. I left it yesterday. I got it from Wick.
Okay.
I've been waiting. I talked to Jeff about 2 months ago. We want to advertise on this station. Put your money where your mouth. So I close by this, Gerard. Come September or the first part of October, we will be announcing with these organizations. We're going to come once a month. We're setting the process of how we're going to choose people. I'm not going to go do my cousin's house. The process, you put an application in through the church or however we're going to do it, and we try to do 5 or 6 houses a month, minor repair, so we could keep out the wings of court enforcement. And we hope other organizations join. And we're not running around beating the drum, but we're going to get the work done. And that's what we have to do.
Well, one of the things,
So,
too,
yeah.
that I think has got to be done now, I'm not the professional and maybe there is a paint person that can tell me what. But I think that an organization has got to be put together where we can go and have a conversation with those folks that have like paint stores and tell them we want to get Burr or Sherman Williams or somebody to sponsor us and give us paint, and let's go have a paint party in neighborhoods where we know that these homes need a coat of paint on them. They need some primer and some coat of paint on them.
That's part of that, Gerard. That's part of that, and that's part of we sitting at the table to put the things together, painting, fixing the real, and stuff that can bring it back to help the homeowners out there really don't have the money.
Right.
And and not so much if they don't give us the paint, we will end up a few dollars to put up the paint to do it.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's an investment. If it's going to take me $25, I will put it up. I have no problem doing it, but I'm not going to brag about it.
Yeah.
And I close by saying this. We always hear what the NAACP don't do. And I'm not going to ever tell you what I do. I ask you to join and you come do it with us. So thank you, Gerard. Advertising, man, I need to hear from you, big brother.
I got
All right? Thank you again, Gerard.
He's getting ready to call you.
All right, good enough. All right.
All right. Do I got time to take another call or we got to go to news? I can't take another call yet? All right, Keith, hold on a minute. Because I need my producer is telling me that we got to do some news here. But I do want to let everybody know, for those of you that did not hear, that we are definitely improving our signal as well. There was a lot of work that was done over the weekend. We have our engineer rolling in here. That's why we're working through some of the technical difficulties. But I want everybody to understand what we're doing. You can now listen to us if you're in the immediate area of New Orleans. Turn your radio to 107.1 FM and be able to check us out as we broadcast live. We're doing it right now. You can hear us broadcasting live right now, 107.1 FM as well. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and go. We'll take the break here. We'll come back, have some more conversation. Keith, hold up. You're gonna be on next. We'll come right back.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go, an Equity Media Station.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. With school starting Thursday, the Los Angeles Unified School District will create safe zones to protect students from immigration raids. Black Mayor Karen Bass says neither LAPD nor school police will share information with federal agencies. Schools are being urged to strengthen protocols, and more bus routes will be added to shield students from ICE activity. Beyonce has won an Emmy for Best Costumes for her Super Bowl 57 halftime show. Designed by her and her team, the looks told a story of empowerment and creativity, adding to her impressive list of Emmy wins. And Black Atlantic City, New Jersey Mayor Marty Small says he will not take a plea deal that would force him out of office. Small and his wife, School Superintendent LaQuetta Small, pleaded not guilty to charges of abusing their teenage daughter. Prosecutors offered him probation and counseling and her a 5-year prison term, but both were rejected. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
That was for you, Wick. That was definitely for you at the time.
Well, I could have caught you real good.
That's all right.
That
Splat. That's all I got to say. Splat. What's good people? A few minutes now after 5 o'clock for you that are getting off work. Make sure you check us out. It's WBOK Live on the FM band as well. 107.1 FM. Keith.
Hey, man, how's it going?
What's going on with you, big timer?
Look, I want to make a couple of comments about housing after Katrina.
Okay.
One of them, the first is the federal government came in and offered rent pay for people at triple the rent that was taking place before Katrina.
Right.
And that has never leveled out, which
that took up
causes a
everybody's costs. So when you say that, are you talking about the HUD dollars? Because HUD dollars also kind of messed up the system that we had here because they were paying 2 or 3 times more.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that was federal government. You are correct.
And then the other thing is the cost, the median income will never meet the cost to build.
And you are correct. That's why if you heard the conversation, what we were talking about is the cost of housing. And I was like, okay, so you're going to give us a whole bunch of money for affordable housing. My question is, how do you determine what is affordable housing other than what you're paying through HUD? Because if you working and I'm working and you're telling me I can buy a house because it's affordable, how much of your money that you earn goes toward the mortgage of a house?
Exactly. So is the issue affordable housing or a living wage?
A living wage? You are correct, sir. You are correct. And
so
that's
the only way
scary.
to address affordable housing is for this city to make an active movement toward getting people in living wage, especially in the entertainment industry, in the hospitality industry.
Mm-hmm. And because that's what we this city is built on, the hospitality industry.
But they've never treated the hospitality industry properly financially. The hotels make the money, but their employees make nothing.
Yeah, you are correct. You are correct.
Yeah.
So
that's basically the comment that I wanted to make because, I did real estate appraisal after Katrina, and I know the state of Louisiana were actively trying to devalue the city of New Orleans. At the same time, increasing rents and not looking at increasing salaries.
Mm-hmm. So do you remember? I'm getting ready to make you burn up a couple of brain cells here. So here you go. Do you remember? What was James Perry? James Perry was the head of housing, one of the watchdog groups here, and James Perry ended up taking to court several different organizations because he said, how do you value a 1,200 square foot house more so in Lakeview and that same amount of equipment, sheetrock, wood costs more if you're building a house or trying to repair a house in the Lower Ninth Ward. He was looking at materials, and he did a comparison that they were charging more per square foot in the Lower Ninth Ward than they were in Lakeview.
Well, I don't think, and I do remember that, and I didn't necessarily agree with it then, because there's there's more factors to valuing a house uptown, Lakeview, Gentilly, the Lower Ninth Ward.
Oh, I understand the area. No. I understand the area. I'm talking about the resources that's used. If I go buy sheetrock, that sheetrock should cost me the same if I'm building a house in the Lower Ninth Ward that I'm building in Lakeview. The cost of the products should not be costing a whole lot more because I'm building a house in certain different areas.
And and you're right. The cost of the product should not cost more based on an area.
Now the value of the land and the house,
value of the house can be
right.
more based on an area.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the problem comes in. The excessive value in some areas compared to others. Because the Lower Ninth Ward was always devalued.
But you should hear how much a house costs now in the Lower Ninth Ward.
It's ridiculous.
It's gentrified.
That's right. That's right.
I was riding through the little upper Ninth Ward the other day. I was like, who are these folks? How did they get here? But
Whenever you go through there, you're right. You're riding through there, and you're wondering where these people came from.
Yep.
And it's not just the Lower Ninth Ward. It's a lot of these neighborhoods where white flight took place.
Mm-hmm.
We took over. We kept the neighborhoods up, and now after Katrina, they want to come back and reclaim what, or actually think they're reclaiming what's theirs, and it's not theirs.
But you know, I think I have a problem because my problem is just what you said. But my problem is, and I'm gonna put it in these words. I sat down and had conversations with my elders. I had conversations with those folks that were here, that were talking about those men that worked on the wharf, those folks that were real estate, that wanted to buy real estate in certain parts of the city and couldn't, not because they didn't have the money, but because of who they were. And to learn how those folks that look like me and you ended up saying, okay, you're not going to stop me from buying a house. I'm just going to put it together in a certain part of the city. And how many of those folks came to the Lower Ninth Ward to build their families' houses. And now you're trying to tell me that it's equal opportunity now that everybody can go in the Lower Ninth Ward and buy up the property, but yet you wanted to segregate me from living beside you in your part of town. That's
right.
Foul to me. That's just foul. And some of us need to learn our history. So
we definitely need to learn our history.
Yeah.
I grew up in a Gentilly neighborhood where one street divided white from black.
Wow. It's kind of like that on the West Bank now a little bit. Because I looked at one side of Opelousas. I don't know if you've been over there to look at one side of Opelousas, and on the other side of Opelousas, it divides.
Exactly. Now, the neighborhood I grew up in is no longer like that. It's majority black. There's still some white after Katrina, but it's majority black. But it's still that issue.
You
abandoned it. It's no longer yours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, welcome to segregation number 2.
Yeah.
All right, Keith, let me take these other calls. All my lines lit up, man.
All right.
I'll talk to you in a minute. Thanks for the call.
Thank you, man.
All right, Chris. Chris?
What you say, Gerard?
What's going on, Big Money? Where are you?
Oh, man. So everywhere.
Got to ask them questions when I talk to you these days because you be gone.
Right. Yes. Making it happen. I think, yes, do we need to learn our history? Absolutely. But we also need to learn some new strategies, and we also need to stop undervaluing what we have. There's no reason why the houses in New Orleans East, especially the ones that are in proximity to Lake Forest Charter School, okay, which is one of the highest performing schools in the state, that alone should increase value of the homes out here in this area.
Right.
Point blank, period.
Right.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. They have closed off Lincoln Beach to public access.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So now they've done that, right? After the hard work that Reggie and
Well, I think they did that
and,
more of, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm taking up for them from doing that, but they closed it off because there were more folks other than us that were going out there to do the work. There were a lot of, I would say, Hispanic families that were going out there, and you could tell that they were living in that area. And also, they had alligators in that area.
Yes.
So I think, if I'm not mistaken, a kid got bit. I got to look that up.
Got you.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, then very good. I'm with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are things, there are landmarks, there are schools, there are businesses that are supporting the demographics here that automatically add value to New Orleans East. Now, our lovely councilman who made a lot of big promises did not come through on those promises in terms of improving the economic drive that is needed, not just in New Orleans East, but in New Orleans, period. right?
Mm-hmm.
We need more economic variety. We need more economic diversity. And also, too, we need to get our teenagers back into these part-time jobs that our elderly have been taking up because they haven't been able to afford the cost of living. So we have a part-time job competition that's going on with the youth, and then our elderly who are in their retirement years. They still got to work a part-time job. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So so you're starting to see that come back. The goodwill is all on workforce development and things of that nature, but really let's just call it what it is. It's a rehabilitation clinic for all intents and purposes. If you go to Walmart and you look at some of the other faces that are working in there, right? You can tell that they're coming back from drug rehabilitation. All of them don't look like us. And they're riding around with Mississippi tags. Okay? So what we need to do is we need to hold the line of value. No matter what neighborhood you're in, whether that's across the canal, whether that's the lower 9, upper 9, the east, Gentilly, so on and so forth.
So,
we need to uphold value.
So I'm gonna take you to Aretha Castle Haley for a minute, because one of the things I did, my good friend Mary invited me to go over to Cafe Reconcile and have lunch one day. So we went over there, and one of the things I did, I paid attention to the folks that were working, and they were young folks. They were young folks that enjoyed their job. That's number one. Number two, they had an etiquette about themselves. So to me, this was not somebody that was just thrown into a job and didn't have any training for that job. And I said that and used that experience for a reason. I think what we got to get back to, whether they're young, old, black, white, don't matter to me, is the fact before you get a job and be able to handle that job, is that you got to be able to be trained for that job. Not only should you be trained on how you handle yourself for the job, but you also need some type of etiquette for speaking to a public. And how do you should not be in a job, and this ain't no smack on nobody in New Orleans East. This talking about everywhere. Because what drives me is the fact that we have folks that are in a job. You say, "Hey, how you doing?" Hey, what is that? Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. I know that is some part of New Orleans intellect and dialect, but I want to be able to say that wherever you're from and whoever you are, let's get you trained that you could go work anywhere if you got a skill, know how to talk to people, and be able to move on and be able to handle situations. So that's
for sure.
That's where I think that we're losing our difference in young folks as well as some of our older folks. We got to be able to say, hey, there's a special way I need you to be able to carry yourself working on this job. And I don't care if you're a greeter from daggone Walmart. You need to be able to greet folks with some type of etiquette.
I agree.
Now, look, Shannon Swift told me, she said, yeah, it's like Chick-fil-A. Yeah, I went to Chick-fil-A. You'd be like, thank you so much. My pleasure. My pleasure. Yep. My pleasure. So they got some type of training. Where they getting their training from? You know?
Chick-fil-A.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's my 2 cents on the dollar. Y'all
I got
easy.
you, big boy. I got you. You on the road?
Right.
You on the road somewhere?
Yep.
You know, I'm trying to get all up in your business.
Right.
All right,
I'm going to
Chris,
catch you at PJ's.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right, now.
Talk to you in a minute. All right, Brother Card.
What's going on, Brother Gerod?
What's happening?
Well, all I say to you is this, right? It's called an innovative mind. The troubles you're talking about, things that's going on, it's about the innovative mind. I always talked about the city. Now, they're doing so, they passed a budget going on in the city council. We talk about the affordable homes and all the other stuff. It goes by the income. So, no matter how much the house is, if it's the home that city owns like 440, public properties. That's what I'm in the city on, right? So I always say, tell the city this, right? Look here, this is so simple here, and so but we seem to make things complicated because, again, maybe the bureaucracy or the paperwork or stuff like that, maybe that's the hindrance to getting progress. So I often say, if you got an employee that works for the city for 20 years and still living in an apartment, something must be wrong with the city. Something must be going on with them or what's going on. I had a friend of mine who's worked for the city for years, retired, and she lived in an apartment. I said, why you don't have a house? She said, well, blah, 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 blah. Look here, let me tell you something. If the city don't have no knowledge or no wisdom to be a backer, a co-signer for every employee who's been there for 2 years, be a co-signer for a bank or whatever to guarantee they get their home and pay, take money out of their salary. It's so simple, Gerard, but why we don't do that? Why they don't implement certain things to protect the blood and the vine of the city? Say they don't do it because, I don't know, I guess it seems to have you want to be a paycheck society. So, but if the powers in the city do great things, but the innovative is done. So we have to get back to a point, Gerard, that even in your city, even in your station you've been working for, if you don't have a house, if that employment don't supply a house, or they more valuable employees come to work every day for years and years, and they don't supply them with a house, you got co-sign with a house. I don't think they're supposed to.
So let me ask you a question, though, Brother Corey. How many folks? And this is a true question. So don't think I'm picking. I want you to answer this question for me, though. How many folks in the city of New Orleans do you think are on Section 8? That's not just white folks or black folks. That's everybody. I'm not talking about anybody in particular. How many folks do you think have a HUD voucher?
We just talked about that just a little while ago for Section 8. A couple of my friends, the people I know, they're waiting they be on the waiting list. Now,
but how many right now do you
hold on,
have a voucher?
I don't know the exactly number.
Give me a number. Give me a number. You just give me a number.
Give you a number. Let me see. Give you a number. All right. Population, we have 263,000 people here, registered voters here in New Orleans. So let me say 2% of that, 20 at 2,000. Let's say like 2,000 people. Let's say 2,000 people.
Let's try 20,000 folks in
20. Wow.
In the area. So we have about 20,000 vouchers that are available that are being taken up by folks. So you have over 300,000 folks. I think it's 360,000 that are in the city of New Orleans. So at least 20,000 of those folks have vouchers. Doesn't matter what their race or ethnicity is. We're not even talking about that. What I was getting to, and this is something that I wanted everybody to understand with that voucher, there is a program that comes through HUD, the Housing and Urban Development, which is ours is HANO, that will teach you how to buy a house. You can buy that house using your voucher. They just don't promote it well. And I don't care if anybody calling me from HUD saying you wrong for saying that. I don't think they promote it well. And the reason why is because if it was, there would be a whole lot of folks that would want their own house instead of living in somebody else's or living in somebody else's apartment or living in an apartment complex. The only thing they got to do is apply for it. They will then put you in the class and let you go through it so that you can become a homeowner. And if you're scared about, oh, my God, how much that mortgage is going to cost me every month, you'll be able to also use your voucher to pay for the mortgage.
Look at Gerard. Let me say again. Housing with them is like they also supply job plus and home ownership and like family self-sufficient. Yes, you're absolutely right. See, and that's the program but Jerome, look here. We often talked about how do they get, let's say a special assessment or say something about they get their, deduction or whatever. But most homeowners that supply this, they cannot get. We don't talk about how do the renters and the homeowner get some type of, credit towards the object is this. Now, they have to put a lease on it. Some of my phones ringing. They got to put a lease on it to actually get the credit to go ahead on it. So to be a lease to own. So most homeowners over there, rental Section 8 people, they don't have a lease to own option. Do you understand that? So if they put that into the term of lease to own option, then the homeowner could get some type of assistance as well too with that as well too, because it's part of that program. But most homeowners, they're just paying off their notes or getting put money back in their pockets. It's not a lease to own situation. You understand that, Gerard? So once we get to a point where they be a lease to own situation, then we can say Section 8 gonna do a great job for it. But they could get put out any time of the day because that's the homeowner. So that's not a safe place. That's why we have to get to a point, Gerard, where the city is actually putting those people and guarantee the loan because they'll get paid their job anyway. But anyway, there's so much stuff we could talk about. But all I say to you, now, New Orleans, what they're doing right now, what the city doing, they have a plan right now. It's on Esplanade, like 50 units for low income and all the other stuff for city employed workers and stuff like that. I want to see how they're going to structure it.
All
okay,
right.
Gerard. Thank you, Gerard.
All right. Talk to you in a minute. More coming up, y'all. Everybody will tell you.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by FidelityWealthManagement.com. One United Bank is the nation's largest black-owned bank. Founded back in 1968 in Boston, the bank compares itself to a GPS system for financial services, tailored to help Black Americans navigate the money world. Chairman and CEO Kevin Cohey says One United Bank is successful because it focuses on problems the average person faces.
Your truck's broke. It's going to cost $600. You don't have $600. You need to borrow. You need an emergency, small balance, short-term loan in order to solve your problem. That's a One United Bank product. You can't get a checking account because there's something that occurred in your youth. That's a One United Bank product.
One United Bank prides itself on helping to empower people in the Black community through its products and services. Helping people in the lower and middle class face small everyday problems is a big part of that mission. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Lowe's knows when you're looking for reliability, the right brand makes all the difference. And now, Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retailer for the Whirlpool water treatment line, including their Wi-Fi softener, under-sink filtration system, and more. With Whirlpool's proven performance and our everyday low prices, better tasting, better quality water is within reach. Shop pro-trusted brands like Whirlpool and more, in-store or online. Lowe's, we help, you save.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
New Orleans, are you ready? A fresh voice in the city is here, bringing you the beats, the culture, and the stories that matter. From local music and food to real talk on what's happening in the streets. We've got you covered. Stay tapped in. Follow us on all platforms at WBOK 1230 for the latest updates and exclusive content. Your city, your culture, your news. Don't just hear about it, be about it. Follow WBOK 1230 now.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Don't wait. Call Brandon Moore today at 504-666-6163. He's the finance man at Matt Bowers Ford, 3724 Veterans Boulevard. No credit, bad credit, he'll get you rolling. That's Brandon Moore, 504-666-6163. Come see me and we'll make it happen for you.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Here we go.
The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Coming up at 6 today, Arnie and Carrie is going to be on your radio. Make sure you check them out 6 o'clock this evening, about 35 minutes away from this minute too. Got to send a big shout out to my big brother Harold, who is in the building. All of y'all that's been trying to advertise, y'all need to call him. 504-582-9420.
504-251-3433. Excuse my New Orleans
251
vernacular.
What is it? 251 what?
251-3433.
3433?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make sure we got that out. Excuse your vernacular.
Yeah, you know, my accent, my New Orleans accent. You know, I go 504, not 504. 504.
No, if you want to be correct, 504.
Yeah, 504.
I guess we asked for that then, huh? All right, Kevin, what you say?
Hey, I was listening to y'all talking about how we are allowing other people. First of all, we're not allowing anybody to do anything. They're taking advantage of opportunities to move into neighborhoods where we live at, because we're not even those of us who have the means to live in our communities are doing everything they can to get far away from us. Now, I understand why that is, because basically we don't raise the, generally speaking, I'm not saying absolute, there's no such thing as absolute, but generally speaking, black folks don't raise the property values when we move into the neighborhood, primarily because when we move into the neighborhood, the people who do take care of their property move out because they know their property value is going to be going down, whether it's contrived or whether it's real, because look, they have a Pontchartrain Park. I'm glad you mentioned Pontchartrain Park. That was built by black people who had the means to live in a black community, and they were smart enough to realize their strength was living in a community together. Look, slaves understood that they had to start building their own communities. I don't understand what is the intellectual or moral disconnect where African Americans having the same story continually, talking about how people not letting them in their community, talking about how they're devaluing property values that black people live in. Look, if we planning on living in our communities, it don't matter anyway, because if we live there long enough, if we build it up, eventually it's going to be what we're talking about now. It's going to go up in value. Okay? And if it don't, that's even better, because if we plan on living there, we get to live in a place, a beautiful place. New Orleans is really a beautiful place culturally as far as food and festival. And we get to live in a place, because New Orleans is about big as a matchbox. So you can live anywhere in New Orleans and still enjoy the quality of life that New Orleans has, the good quality of life that New Orleans has. You live in the hood. You don't live far from all to partake in everything that everybody else who have millions of dollars, or people who have a couple of nickels to rub together. We all live close enough to each other where we can enjoy in the quality of life, no matter how much we have, if we have the money to partake in those extracurricular activities. And if you're buying a house that's cheaper, if you have a couple of dollars, that means you have even more dollars on extracurricular activities. So until black people start realizing, look, our strength is living in our communities together and building them up. The problem is when we move in, not all of us, but there are some of us who move in our communities who then don't take care of the property.
So let's have that conversation for a minute, though, because I want to interject something. I want your opinion on this. You tell me. So one of the things I noticed about New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina is that we saw meetings of folks trying to tell us that we shouldn't be segregated in our communities. We should be open. All these different areas are open so that we could have more folks moving uptown, downtown. We got more folks that were moving from one part of town to I would say New Orleans East and then Lower Ninth Ward. We got other folks doing that. I'll never forget. I had the opportunity to go to St. Charles Avenue and go look at this beautiful house. I mean, it had the double staircases that went from the bottom floor to the top floor with tile that was, and I don't even want to call it tile. It looked like ivory, but I guess that was like some type of quartz or something that went to the second floor, and then from the second floor, you could take the elevator that was in the building and go to the third floor where they had the racquetball courts. This was a multi-million-dollar house, and it's on St. Charles Avenue. And I'll never forget, as I'm listening to this man tell me about that house, he also included in there that he actually had to get somebody else that was white to sign off on buying the house for him, because the association or the folks that were selling the house were trying to make sure that nobody of my hue or your hue could go in there and buy it, because they didn't want us on their streets on St. Charles Avenue. And that man is a doctor. He's a dentist. He was really telling us that story. But he had the money, and you can't tell me that his family was not of the upper echelon of folks. So what's the difference, except for his skin color?
Well, let me say, I'm gonna tell you my point in relationship to those circumstances. Look, I guarantee you that same price value that you can pay for in that house, I guarantee you can, if you plan on living there now, you can live in the hood for a quarter, or half of that. I'm gonna say probably a quarter. Have all the elevators you want in your house. Okay. Now the problem is, you're not gonna be able to sell it for what they sell that house for. But
then why would I buy it?
Well, I'm gonna tell you why you would buy it. If we had the sensibilities to understand that if we build up our communities, it will. If we plan on staying there for a significant amount of time, if we build our communities up, it's gonna look just like it looks now. It will go up in value. Build it, and it will come. Look, I'm watching white folks move back into the Gentilly area, and they moved out as soon as we moved in. And guess what? Go try to buy a house in that area and find out how much it costs. Just a piece of land will cost you a pretty penny.
Well, it's not because white folks moved there. Gentilly has always been a nice area of town to live in, and it's always been priced a little bit higher.
Well, I'm talking about Gentilly Woods Pontchartrain Park. I'm not talking about where the white folks
Park
been
has
living.
Some very nice houses in there that been priced a long time before now.
But it was approachable to live in, as opposed to if you just move half a mile down in Lake Terrace and some of those other areas down there. And guess what? The houses are weren't that much better, quite frankly. But you couldn't afford to live there if they would even let you move in, like you said. But my thing is, always get the best bang for your buck, okay? And start getting with people like you, moving in the neighborhood as a group of people, or encourage people to move in your neighborhood. But it's going to take some work. You're going to have to call up and make those people who don't, the blacks who don't cut their grass, or the whites who don't cut their grass, y'all going to have to. The bottom line is this: we're going to have to cut. There's no way around us coming together and working as a team. For whatever it is, whether it's real estate, whether it's politics, whether it's anything you could think of in society, if we don't come together and work on the team with people who have a common circumstance that's under the same situation, we're going to always be talking about what other people are doing to us because we refuse to accept accountability to do it for ourselves. I mean, within the limits that we can do it in. And realize that black folks don't have the means that white folks have. Those contractors I had Spanish people work for me after Katrina because I couldn't get nobody else to do the job, right? I can't even get them now because they did it for little or nothing. And I say little or nothing. They did it for whatever it took that they needed to get their foothold in. And now, because they did a good job and they were trustworthy, now I can't afford them now. And if we do the same thing, we'll fall into the same category. Maybe not because we're not quite accepted.
So why
Black
didn't you get
folks aren't
somebody
accepted.
black? Because what I'm hearing right now is the fact that you didn't even look for somebody black. You looked for somebody else that was cheaper.
First of all, you don't know what I look for because I never said
No,
what
I
I look
said
for.
what you sound like.
Mac,
That's
I
what
said,
it sounds like.
Matter of fact, I said I couldn't find blacks and
If
whites
you listen
to
to
do it
what I
either because
said for a minute, Kevin, and stop getting goddamn it defensive on me, you would hear what I said. I said it sounds like. Now, you're right. I don't know what you said, but I'm telling you that's what it sounded like. And I ain't going to be the only one. You know somebody going to call in and say that's what you said.
Look,
so my question to you again is, it sounded like you didn't go find somebody that was black, did you?
let me put it like this. I have no control over what's going on between somebody's ears. All I can tell you is that my reality at the time after Katrina is I couldn't find black, and I tried. And guess what? I worked with several contractors, blacks and whites, until I finally got somebody to actually get the job done.
So
okay,
did you ever ride through New Orleans East where these black folks have these? Because New Orleans East to me was always a part of the city that had bricks and mortar. It became a part of the city that has a lot of dilapidated apartments because nobody cared at that point. But I will say that it did have more area of town that had bricks and mortar and beautiful homes. Bullard, those areas off of Reed, those areas off of the gated communities as well. But did you ever go down and take a look at and say, these are the types of homes that we definitely own? They're not somebody just saying, oh, let me rent that. We own them.
Look, I always wanted to live in the hood. My thing is this.
But that's let's kind of get that out of our system for a minute. You think that those areas are just the hood? Hello?
Oh no, I'm sorry. You broke out. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying you
Go
keep
ahead.
calling the area the hood. Have you really gone through those areas before we call them the hood?
Well, you know, we getting caught up in semantics. The bottom line is this. I always wanted to live around my people because I felt safe there. That's where I grew up at. That's where I felt nurtured, respected, and I felt like it was family. Okay? So I always wanted to live there. I never wanted to live, and especially if I could live there at a half of the price. Because guess what? Before Katrina, I always helped work with black people because they availed themselves to me where I could afford that.
All right.
Katrina, it was different because a lot of black folk wasn't back. It was just too much drama. I wasn't getting it done. Okay. In fact, I had to have a black guy who was in construction to actually run my program because I was out of town. So he got whoever he could to get the work done. And the bottom line is money is an object, okay? So, but if we start sticking together and understanding, I cannot charge you what I can charge somebody who have more money than you have. But as soon as I get you to do business with me and I do a good job, then you can give me. That's how Walmart make money. They don't charge a lot of money like some of the other stores, but they make their money on volume. And then now they probably the largest institution in the world. And if we just live with respect the means that we living in and try to help each other to get their foot on them, they'll keep giving you business because you do a good job.
All right, I got you. All right,
Yeah.
Kevin, let me take these other calls. Everybody holding on. Thank you, brother. Miss Shawn? Miss Shawn?
Hello.
Hey.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
How y'all doing? How you doing?
Good
How y'all
yourself.
doing? I want to learn how to get that $1 million house for $1, like somebody did. teach me?
You want to learn how to get that $1 million house
For $1.
Who did that?
Our city council lady.
Oh, you talking about who's running for mayor?
For mayor? Yes, sir. Can you teach me that?
No, I cannot. That would not be.
I don't want
in
$1
my
million
skill set.
house though. I don't want all that house, but I want to learn how to get a good house for $1.
Yeah, I kind of read something about that too. I didn't know that really happened. I thought that was just a conversation on social media.
Oh.
So I'm not certain that really happened. I can't confirm nor deny.
Okay. Thank you for taking my call.
But if you learn, call me back and let me know here.
And vice versa.
All right, dear. Thank you much. Yes, indeed. I thought that was a joke. I did. I thought it was a joke. I didn't know. $1 million house for $1. But having the insight or the inside track on some of the properties that are available, I still stick to my opinion that, and I saw this online. Somebody said, well, everybody's not a good person to own a home. Okay. And you know that how? Well, some people just aren't good homeowners. Let me tell you something, and this is what I honestly believe. I believe that if you're going to sit up here and try to tell me that somebody will tear your mess up but won't take care of their own first, I have had so many homeowners. I even had one lady, I'll never forget this. She sent me photos of a lady that she had to evict out of her home because she was renting it to her. And they had paint all over the doors, all over the inside doors. They had all over the walls. I mean, just like random. Somebody pick up just a coat of paint and just started throwing it all over with a paintbrush and shaking it. It was all over everything. But I will say this. I believe that people will take care of their own properties before they have them tear. They're not going to tear up their own mess like they'll tear yours up. Not everybody. But what's wrong with that one word here before we start saying, oh, not everybody can do, not everybody. Before we start saying that, you're missing that one word here that everybody needs, and that's an opportunity. So the opportunity is there. I'm not saying that everybody going to go and buy a house, but I am going to say if the opportunity is there and you don't know about it, then we need to be talking about it. I have a friend of mine. His name is Lewis. Lewis lives on the West Bank. Lewis knows this housing stuff through the government, left and right. He knows it so good that he'll tell me some of the programs that he could put together, that a lot of the folks could put together if they just would listen. Because I'll put it to you this way. The program that we're operating now under HUD through the city of New Orleans and through the state of Louisiana, Lewis wrote it. That's how smart he is. So I started talking to him about, home ownership and folks that wanted to buy a home and da-da-da. He said, oh, yeah, that's part of the program. I said, what are you talking about? He said, that part of the program is definitely available to them. All they got to do is go through the classes. They'll get the money for the down payment, and they can use their voucher for the monthly mortgage note until they get on their feet. How long that will be? We don't know. But if you can pay $1,400, $1,500 in a voucher for somebody else's, how come you can't do yours, your own? Think about that. Well, coming up, y'all, we have to take a break.
AURN News.
The Congressional Budget Office report just shed more light on Trump's so-called One Big Beautiful Bill. Between 2026 and 2034, household resources, it says, are projected to rise overall, but the gains are stacked in favor of the wealthy. If you're in the bottom 10% of earners, the CBO says you'll lose about $1,200 a year, largely because of cuts to Medicaid and SNAP. That's a 3% hit to already tight budgets. Middle-income families will see a small bump, about $800 to $1,200 a year. But the top 10%, they'll get an extra $13,600 annually, driven by massive tax breaks, including extensions from Trump's 2017 tax law and estate tax giveaways. So while the White House is touting more money for households, the CBO's numbers show this bill widens the gap between rich and poor. For these stories and more, go to AURN.com or follow me across social media at Ebony McMorris.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
You know, I find it difficult to understand how the Republican congressional majority can claim to be Christian. Several weeks ago, you'll remember they passed the president's so-called Big Beautiful Bill. The president signed it. They even had the gumption to have a big celebration with Trump at the White House. Now, here's the thing about that. How can so-called Christians celebrate a bill that takes from the poor and rewards the rich? There is nothing more unchristian than stealing from the poor to give to the rich. A Christian is obligated to feed the hungry. Instead, the so-called GOP Christians in Congress are cutting food stamps. They should be healing the sick, but instead they are cutting Medicaid. They should be standing up to the fat cat billionaire class, but instead the so-called Christians are lowering taxes for the billionaire class. These policies, ladies and gentlemen, have no basis in the teachings of Jesus or any religious teachings around the world that says when someone gets hungry or sick, you have the right to make more money off of them while lining the pockets of your wealthy donors. Not surprisingly, this heartless action has drawn the ire of the citizens who've attended town hall meetings held by some GOP congressional representatives. In an effort to avoid future embarrassment from such dissatisfied voters upset about their policies, Republican leaders have advised their members not to hold any further town hall meetings with constituents, an act of shameless cowardice. And yet, it remains to be seen whether the Republican base will punish these heartless jackasses by voting them out of office. The answer awaits us in the upcoming midterm elections in 2026. Lest we forget the so-called Big Beautiful Bill from the not-so-beautiful party. This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
Got unpaid parking or camera tickets in New Orleans? Here's some good news. Through August 31st, you can take care of them without paying late fees. That's money back in your pocket. Just go to NOLA.gov/no late fees to see what you owe. You can pay all at once or sign up for a payment plan and break it into monthly payments at no extra cost. That's NOLA.gov/no late fees. NOLA.gov/no late fees. Don't miss out. This offer ends August 31st.
Saints of God, it's time for us to tell you the truth. It's time for you to start your 21-day challenge. Don't take another day. Do it right now. Call 504-701-4711. That's the whole water stove, Pastor David Impartan Sr., the host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. This is the water that's designed to change your body, the way you think, the way you act, and the way you look. Why don't you start your 21-day challenge today? For $35, you can start it right now. Call me so we can set up your appointment. 504-701-4711. That's 504-701-4711. Change your water, change your mind.
At New Orleans East Hospital, we believe healthcare should come with heart. Located at 5620 Reed Boulevard, we proudly serve the New Orleans community with compassion, courtesy, and a commitment to excellence. From healing to education, we want to be your trusted healthcare partner that's close to home. New Orleans East Hospital, delivering a culture of healthy care.
This year marks 20 years since Hurricane Katrina changed our city and our schools forever. New Schools for New Orleans is sharing After the Storm, a special series reflecting on the past 2 decades of change and progress in public education. Through videos, personal stories, and a powerful interactive timeline and data dashboard, we explore how our schools recovered, transformed, grew, and what that progress means for our students today. Discover the videos, data, resources, and stories behind the 20 years of change at newschoolsforneworleans.org/Katrina20.
Uptown, downtown. Wherever you are, keep it locked in to WBOK.
Here we go.
The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. All right, 504-582-9422 is the number. What'd you say, Mr. Harold?
Yeah, I just got in on the program, just started listening, and I'm on my cell phone, then it's on the radio, and I'm getting 2 different, versions of whatever you call it. But anyway, you were talking real estate, and that's my subject. And I told you before, I got my real estate license when I was 26 years old. So, and you mentioned a while ago about some house that the buyer had, Dennis had to have a so-called white front for him.
Mm-hmm.
Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay. It happened here in Los Angeles years ago. Mayor Bradley, who wanted to buy a house in Leimert Park, and I lived in Leimert Park for a while. They would not sell him the house. And he was the longest serving mayor in the history of Los Angeles. But he happened to be black.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had to get a so-called white to front the sale. But things have changed here. I mean, rapidly changed. The so-called white people are moving back in to the black neighborhood. And it is, I don't understand it, but it's really, really different than the way it used to be. Now, black people migrated from the east side to the west side. And when you were going up the ladder, you would move into Leimert Park, and the developer, Walter Leimert, said he never intended for black people to live in Leimert Park. And then you would move up to View Park, where Wick lived a few years ago, where Ray Charles lived, and a few other people. Now, as far as black people having the ability to buy, a house went up for sale here, a brand new house, for $90 million. And some black people made an offer on the house. They did not win, but somebody that had more money got the house. But what I'm saying is, you have black people that can afford whatever as far as real estate is concerned. And if things, I'll say again, have changed, I mean really, really changed. And the so-called white people are moving into black areas, buying the older houses and fixing them up. Mm-hmm. And the whites, they work together, and they work in groups, the way they do things. So anyway, I just thought I would holler at you and tell you that.
Okay, I got you. So,
Okay.
but who put you on point when you were trying to do it?
Say that again?
I said, but who put you on point when you wanted to buy that $1 million house? Especially if they won't letting us go in and buy a lot of these houses in different neighborhoods.
Well, you can buy whatever you want, wherever you want.
Mm-hmm.
So and you know, and then too, it's it's, how can I say to you? I'll probably have to call you back. $1 million house here.
Oh, that's a
you're
small
not
house. That's a starter house.
Yeah, that you're not saying anything.
Yeah.
So if you want to make a statement, you
Get a
got to
house like
have
yours.
at least a $5 million house.
Yeah, or a 10 one like yours.
I hear your music.
All right, you're living in that $10 million house that you live in.
Well, let me talk to you later. I'm at LAX at the airport.
All right, at the airport, going home to your $10 million house, huh? Yeah.
Okay. All I can say is life is good.
I understand.
And you can live better than you know.
All
you
right.
just have to have you just need the knowledge.
There you go.
Talk
All right,
to
Miss
you
Arrow.
later.
Be good.
Bye.
Talk to you
Bye.
later. We ain't lying. All right, that's going to wrap things up for me. I appreciate everybody for being a part of the conversation on today. We'll do it again on tomorrow. Make sure that you're here. Coming up, Carrie and Arnie on the way. They will definitely be on the air in a few minutes. But make sure that you're checking us out, not only on AM 1230, but make sure you check us out on 107.1 FM, all right? We'll check you out tomorrow right here at WBOK.